They say opposites attract.
Well, how about these opposites? Daddies and sons.
You're listening to Daddy and Son.
A podcast where we explore the dynamics of daddy and son relationships, multi-generational views,
and everything else in between.
And yeah, she ain't wrong. That, in the words of the great Nene Leakes, that is so stupid. And who am I calling stupid today? I'm talking about the one and only Charlemagne the God.
You've lost me already, hon.
You may remember him for having beef with Trump, but who has Trump not had beef with? If you did not know, last week, Sunday, was the 59th or 69th annual Grammy Awards.
Oh, yes.
And at that Grammy Awards, yes, the one, Benito, received his awards, and almost, all the recipients with integrity. It was nice to see so many people using their platform to speak up about the injustices going on in the world, and especially with ICE. When the ICE out pens.
It's an entertainment and a political event now, isn't it?
As most of these things, tend to be.
Do you know how much Daddy watched of it?
0. Of course he did. But you know what? One of the things that really struck me was the speeches. So hats off to especially some of the younger artists who it's their first time being at the Grammys, their first Grammys ever received, and they still took the time to use the platform to speak out for good. Right? Because especially in this world where you can get pushed out and blacklisted and canceled for anything, good or bad, it's nice to see people still taking a stance.
Whose comments impressed you the most?
Billie Eilish, or Billie Eyelash in the words of Dionne Warwick. She said that there's no immigrants in stolen land.
Interesting.
And I agree with her. I've always been a believer that anyone, as long as they are a contributing member of society, should be able to live wherever they want to live. If animals can migrate whenever they want, and they contribute to our ecosystem, why can't we as human beings migrate? We're not a tree. We're mammals too. We are meant to migrate as mammals, especially as social mammals.
Yes, but we're also meant to live within a legal framework. We have to have that for order, right?
And what is illegal about being able to move wherever you want to move and being able to contribute to society?
Well, provided you're doing it in a way that's lawful for that country, sure.
And half the people who are being detained aren't even unlawful. In fact, 75% of the people who are detained by ICE have no criminal records at all.
Let's not confuse.
15% are U.S. citizens.
Let's not confuse legal migration for purposes of work and finding a new life with what ICE is doing in the United States, which is totally bullshit.
And that is the premise of the conversation, because if ICE was doing things in the correct way, we wouldn't be even having this conversation right now.
Well, if they were doing what they were supposed to do, which is go after criminals and people that shouldn't be in the country, there's some legitimacy to that. That's potentially a good thing. They're doing everything but. That's why people are pissed at ICE.
So
would you agree? And the 5-year-old is, even Republicans are mad at Trump about that.
Well, the irony of it is, so Bad Bunny came up and he said when he was, received his album of the year, to say, and he started his speech by saying, "Before I thank God, I want to say ICE out."
Well, I bet you the place erupted.
The place erupted.
Yeah.
Now, Charlemagne the God went on on his platform on the Breakfast Club on Monday to, say not congratulations, not good job, not I stand with you on your stance on, ICE, the injustices of the immigration, border patrol, but to say nothing should come before God. So how dare you say before you say thank God I saw? How dare you?
So he was trying to out God Bad Bunny?
That's not the case. Let us understand that the same people, Republicans love to. We're supposed to have a separation of state and church
In the United States, yes.
right? We're supposed to, and here in Canada as well.
Not enshrined the same way, but I get your point. So just a minute, Billie Eilish, you said? Forgive my ignorance. I've never heard of the guy, so I don't know what his songs are, or maybe I've heard him. Was he criticizing Bad Bunny or trying to outdo him being
He was criticizing Bad Bunny, saying that Bad Bunny is wrong for saying, before I say thank God, ice out. And, I mean, he did go on to thank God in the end of his speech. But my thing to Unc is you should have sat this one out. You really should have sat this one out. The same bare people that they're attacking, brown people, there's nobody more Christian, more Catholic than Latinos. Nobody.
Yeah, they're very religious people.
Trust me, take it from me, who was a Cuban father. I grew up Catholic plus.
Mm-hmm.
Not just regular Catholic, Catholic plus. I had a candle for every patron saint. I had a prayer for every patron saint. When I got confirmed, I had to do and recite prayers for both Saint Anthony, Saint Rita, and Saint Francis of Assisi.
What about Saint Normand? I don't think there is a Saint Normand. At least not yet.
There is a reason why Latinos like myself, we have so many names. There's a reason why I have 5 names. And that's because we have to have at least 2 saint names. And that's why Latinos have multiple names. Like there's nobody more Christian than us. So when you're going to go out and attack these very same people and say you're doing it because of God or in the name of God, your politics and your religion is being highly contrary. And that is why people like myself
turn off
is moving away from or moving towards secularism. And I myself, I told you on this very podcast last year, I'm starting to see myself more as agnostic, because the greater population of people who call themselves Christians, especially on the on the world stage, the ones that you see who are are public leaders, are saying, oh, I'm a Christian.
But they're not authentic.
But their behavior is not godlike. It's not Christian-like.
Well, listen, and
so,
do you think that pleases? Listen, that's probably true, and that is not what real Christianity, real truth is.
If you are the representation of Christianity, I want no part of it. And you know what?
But that isn't a good representation. That's not a good represention of real Christianity. Real Christianity is a relationship with God Himself. And there's a lot of false stuff out there. I agree with you.
Be that as it may, and yes, I agree with you. Thou shalt not bear false witness, and thou shalt not worship false prophets.
And thou shalt not interrupt son when he's speaking. That's number 11.
It is there in the commandments. I know, and we see it. But do they? Do these very same people who call themselves Christ-like? No. So what you should have done, Uncle Charlotte, is sat this one out. What you should have done
sit out.
Is sit this one out. Keep your mouth shut, because guess what? That is so stupid. That is so stupid. God is in our hearts, and religion is not something that you need to shove down everybody's throat. It's like a cock. You're allowed to have it, but you don't need to wave it around.
Well, it's hard to wave around. You
keep it to yourself, and you keep it in your pants. Shut up. That is so stupid. Nobody needed to hear that. It's his speech. It's his award, and religion has nothing to do with the Grammys, unless it's the gospel category. But I digress. Yes, it has nothing to do with it. So if he wants to thank God, he can thank God. Or if he wants to thank God last, he can thank God last. God is in his heart and God is in his statement. And he should be in yours too. And he should be in your statement too. But I don't think your statement was godlike. And with that, happy Black History Month. How y'all doing? How you doing, Norm?
Well, fine. I'm sorry I can't join the conversation, not having watched the Grammys the other night, but
Shame.
But next year. There's always a next year. I have watched them in the past. My ex used to love it.
I know, because you're Mr. Music Man.
Yes, I know. Well, I don't know. I'm not in my car a lot. That's when I listen to music.
I just feel like your Grammys and a lot of award shows, they're losing their popularity because the political climate, I tell people, I think somebody said to me, it's because you're now an adult. And I said to them, no.
But that's a good point. Why do you think it is? Is it because it's always out there anyway?
Somebody says, because you're an adult. And I said, no, I don't think so. I said to them that I'm sure we've been in politically tense times like this. Like even like, for example, the Vietnam War, where I wasn't alive, obviously. But I've read about how it was. I paid attention in history class. And I think this is very reminiscent of that. I think that
the civil unrest certainly is
correct, and I just genuinely do think that we are in very different times. I think that nobody wants to see celebrities, pageant around in gowns and pretty frocks. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. People can't afford eggs. People can't afford milk. People can't afford to send their children to daycare.
Yeah, it's all fluff, isn't it, at the end of the day?
And nobody cares about these things. And if you're not coming up and you're not taking a stance, nobody gives a shit either. So, that's where I think the people are. I think the people are waking up and realizing that, there is a cost to bigotry and there's a cost to racism. I've been seeing a lot of videos showing up on my feed about life in other places of the world, in Europe, life in China, life in Spain, life in Australia.
There's a lot of North Korean stuff on YouTube right
A lot
now.
of Korean, South Korean stuff have been popping up too.
Well, North Korea, where it's...
Well, I haven't seen the North Korea stuff in my feed, but I've been seeing the South Korea stuff where people are talking, especially because... one of the left-wing commentators, she's doing starting a new show called Kara Swisher Wants to Live Forever. And she's talking about the medical breakthrough in sciences and technology. And she visited South Korea for one of her episodes, and she was talking about that. Yeah. And so a lot of that feed have been coming into my stuff, and she's talking about their technology and how healthcare is so efficient over there. And I showed you the one where the lady went in China.
Wow. And
how their healthcare system is so efficient and stuff like that. So
did they give change?
Not through WeChat.
Okay.
So I've been seeing a lot of that lately, and then I would see, when I scroll across or scroll down, I would see the one or two Republicans with their red hats complaining that, they're complaining to Trump, saying that they lost all their staff or their staff just quit, stopped coming in, and they have over $1 million worth of carrot to harvest, and they can't harvest it all by themselves.
Oh, they're complaining about the ICE raids and taking away the people and stuff.
And I'm like, well, you know what? There's a cost to racism. You voted this way. Who do you think they were going to take?
Well,
no, pull yourself up by the bootstrap and go pick your corn, go pick your carrots, and go pick your soybeans. Go do it.
It's crazy what's going on. Totally crazy.
Don't cry to us on the internet. We ain't do shit.
Well,
we warned you to go vote for the lady.
At some point, hopefully, what's going on in our southern neighbor is going to right itself. There's going to be a restoration of some order, some civility, some kindness in society.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure is going to be a long time.
Oh yeah, and you know what else I've been seeing? A lot of the Montgomery, Alabama brawl videos keep popping up. People keep saying Happy Black History Month, lest we forget the Montgomery, Alabama brawl. So I've been seeing a lot of that coming up.
What is the Pettus Bridge? Was that it? Yeah, the Pettus Bridge. Yeah. I've got a great book at home. I should bring it over to show you. Black and white of Black South of the emergence of the Black movement from the 60s through the 70s. Black and white photos, Martin Luther King, all those pictures on the bridge and everything. It's fascinating.
Okay. I mean, I have not next week, but a week after, I have planned a little history lesson for us, for you and the people. Because
I will bring that book. I will try to find that book.
We have to keep the history alive. There's a reason why.
I agree. Can I tell you something? You know what I'd love to do? I've been dreaming about doing this. I want to take a motor trip, get in my car, and go down to Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, and just see where the history was. It's particularly Mississippi and Alabama. That's where it's at. Anyway, carry on.
No, just that's all I want to say to all our listeners out there who are Black or of the Black diaspora, whether you're ABC, African, Black, Black Canadian or Black American, or Caribbean descent. I just want to wish you a happy Black History Month. Yes. We're celebrating all things Black this month in February. And don't take any back talk from nobody who is not Black.
And it's still a tough time. Talk about the challenges Blacks are going to have voting in the midterms and the efforts Trump and his people are trying to prevent.
Sending ICE to the voting stations. That's voter intimidation. That should be, it is illegal.
It's the same thing that happened 50, 80 years ago, only in a more modern form.
Absolutely. So.
What are we drinking, by the way?
Power up.
Power up.
Fist in the air.
Drink up.
And cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for supplying tonight's Malbec, sponsored by Daddy Norm.
Well, it's an Argentinian wine, and since you're heading that way in a few weeks, you will probably have a much better selection than the local LCBO had. But anyway, I did my best.
I cannot wait.
I am so lucky.
I cannot wait.
A good friend of mine asked me today, Marcus, what countries in South America would you like to visit? Number one, Argentina. So I'm gonna head there. By the way, you've got to tell me when you're going to be in London.
We will talk off here. I'll send you a full itinerary.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a full itinerary. How was your week?
Oh, very busy, crazy. Moving around, meetings, board meetings. But you know what? I'm starting to feel more part of this new job. It's taken a while, but I'm liking it. Don't like working, but I like the job.
Interesting. You don't like working, but you like the job.
Yeah.
You know what? I keep saying, I'll keep saying this for as long as we're doing this podcast. It's time for people your age to step aside and have a succession plan and start building up the millennials to take over. And not just take over with half the salary, take over with a similar salary. Because we need to be able to live in this society, and we cannot afford to live in this society. Start grooming us to take over your job. Find a successor and who is in their late 30s to early 40s.
I would encourage anybody who likes public affairs and policy to, if you haven't taken political science or history at university or school, or you're interested in that anyway, apply for a job with a company or an organization or an association or a member of parliament or a city councillor that gets you into that kind of work. That's how you break into it. And I would encourage anybody. I would help anybody. I would give a reference for somebody. But you can't start out at the top.
That's understandable.
The stuff I'm doing, I couldn't have done it 25 years ago.
Why not?
I didn't have the experience or the knowledge.
What experience is necessary? Let's be honest.
That's where what experience is, it's judgment, it's policy, it's just, listen, you could try and absolutely go do it, but you might find, hey, wait a minute, maybe I'm not doing it the best way. Maybe somebody else would think that.
Please.
But there's lots of roles listen, you got to start somewhere. I mean, maybe there's a 35-year-old doing what I'm doing. Hey, if he's doing it well.
I am sure there are 35-year-olds.
If he's doing it well, great. He's probably using social media better than I am.
I'm very sure that there are 35-year-olds who are
What I
doing
could
what
use
you're
help
doing.
with is social media.
I think that I saw a meme the other day where it was an old person and he was being watched by another young person.
Yeah.
And the caption of the meme said, "Me watching my boss who earns 5 times what I make struggle to save a PDF."
Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't that that is stupid?
But it's the reality that we live in. It's the truth.
Well, I don't have trouble saving
It
a
is
PDF.
the truth. I can't tell you how many times I've worked in organizations where the people that I am reporting to struggle
with technology,
with the day-to-day technology, and they're making 5 times what I make.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It is stupid. We need to be taking, and then they retire and they go off with their big package and their big bonuses and all these things. And then the next person who comes into that position is overwhelmed, overworked, is out of their depth.
And probably not paid as much as the person that had the job before.
Into the deep end, and is paid not even half of what the person their predecessor was earning.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous to me, and I think that the old folks need to do better. They need to do better by the young people.
Move along, daddies. Move along.
It's not even so much as move along and step aside. It's like create a plan. Make the world better than you came into it.
But some people... I don't work for a big company. I don't have a job anymore.
You don't have to work for a big company.
I have a client.
But you don't have to work for a big company to be able to make a strong impact. You don't. You don't. When you leave, ask yourself, what is your legacy?
I'm not concerned about my legacy.
Well, you should be.
No, I'm not.
You should. You should be.
Well, look at LinkedIn. That's my legacy right now.
To this day.
When you say legacy, you mean your professional career, your reputation?
What is your legacy? To this day, I have not been on the board of Black Cap for 4 years now.
Yeah.
My board. I served 6 years on the board before, and then I left back in 2022.
And that's enough time to spend on the board.
That to this day. Anytime they're doing an event, they still call me for consultation. To this day, they still email me, asking me for my opinion on things. That's how you know.
You have a legacy.
You left a legacy. When I was 25, I was offered a seat on the board because of a fundraiser that I did. I didn't ask permission. I didn't beg for anything. I walked in and I said, "Hey, I want to get involved in this. How can I do it?" They said, "What do you need?" And all I said is, "I just need a venue." And that was it. Raised $56,000 in one night.
That's amazing.
And I was owning the country for 2 years. I was owning Canada for 2 years.
Amazing.
I was 21 years old.
Congratulations. How long ago was that?
That was
14, 15?
That was 2015, I think. 2014, 2015, yeah. It was a while back. And I look back.
I remember that because I knew you then.
It was the event at the art auction that we had at Urban Space. And I think about back, 8-9 years ago, the things that I did. This is how you know that you've left a legacy. If when you leave somewhere, you're not being called upon to come back. If when you leave an organization, people aren't reaching out to you, or when somebody else leaves an organization, they're not reaching out to you to say, "Hey, I need your help with this, or I need your assistance with this. Can you pull this string? Can you do that?" What is your legacy?
Well, here's another example of legacy, and I just learned this from my where I used to work at an association. The person who now has the role, she worked for me when I was there. She said, "Norm, after you left, after you were fired a couple of years ago, people used to say, 'How's Norm doing? How's Norm doing? What's he up to these days?'" She said, when his replacement, who just left a couple of months ago, left, She said, no one's asked about him at all. So that's another type of legacy. I mean, they weren't calling me to say, what do you do? But they were inquiring. I'd obviously had some impact on the organization, and they missed me. They wondered what had happened. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different ways of leaving a legacy.
Sure, but I think the best legacy is when you can...
when you're perceived to be a leader in that area.
When you can provide value.
True. I agree with that.
When you can provide value.
And sometimes you don't know when you've provided value. Sometimes people keep their appreciation to themselves.
That's true.
And at other times, for instance, the role I'm playing now, the reason I got the job is a person I'd worked with in in an industry for several years. When he heard about the opening, he said, I have just the person. And he was thinking of me. Mm-hmm. And bingo.
That is fair.
I mean,
that is fair.
I didn't even know that was happening at the time.
But I think that what a lot of people in your age bracket need to start doing is picking a protege and grooming them for succession.
Well, we're going to need to do that because I'm not going to be doing this for more than 2 or 3 years. If you're not
picking a protege and grooming them for succession, then you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right.
Well, I would say that, I think that's reasonable. I don't think they have anybody right now they know that could do that work. So that's how I got the job. He didn't know somebody 35 years old that could do the work.
But I also don't think I don't think you guys are particularly looking hard either.
Well, right now we're not looking because we got somebody doing the job. But we will need to start looking in a couple more years.
But that's not how that works, Norm.
Well, how it works is somebody says, we need to do this job, and somebody says, I know somebody that can do it. That's how work changes.
One thing I've learned as a director is I don't plan for the job. I plan for the governance of what is to come.
What do you mean by that? That sounds interesting.
So when I hire someone, one of the guys in which I hired, he's an immigrant, but he told me that he recently did, at the time, a PMP. He did a project management certification.
Okay.
And I asked him why, because project management doesn't really seem to align with cybersecurity. And he said to me, well, because cybersecurity GRC is pretty much a lot of it is project management.
Yeah, he's right. All change is project management.
Correct. And I looked at it and I sat and I thought about it and I was like, you know what? This is the guy I need to hire. Because with all the changes that are coming down the pipeline with the emerging technologies and AI, we're going to be doing a lot of migrations. We're going to be doing a lot of technological changes.
That's smart.
And I am going to need someone who is good at project management
who
on
can
my
manage
team.
change.
So again, when I'm planning when I'm planning for the job, I'm not necessarily planning for the role. I'm planning for the future, because jobs will change.
That's right.
Roles will change. Things, how a job looks today or how a role looks today will change. I think that's why a lot of people are scared of AI, because they're afraid of change. They're afraid of going through the ropes and doing things how they always have done things. They're afraid of change. Now, older people, what's your thought?
Older people like me. Finish what you're going to say.
Now, I think that older people, when they're planning for succession, they shouldn't be saying, okay, I'm going to plan for someone because I'm not looking now. You know that in the next 3, 4 to 5 years, you're not going to be doing this. Okay, so start looking within or without, start looking outside the box for someone with the talent and start grooming them from now, so that 5 years from now, they will have the exposure, they will have the network,
I agree
they will have the skill set.
In a corporate setting, I agree with that. In a small organization where you need a particular skill, you probably are going to wait until you need the skill to start looking around.
I don't necessarily think that's good. I don't think that's good governance. I don't think so.
Well, people don't think consciously about governance the way you do. They just try to run their businesses and do their things. The people I serve don't spend much time thinking about what I do. They've got their own businesses to run. They've left me to do the little bit of stuff that I do well and help them and report to them. If I were to quit tomorrow, they'd say, what the hell are we going to do now? We got to find somebody.
So it's
And they would
always
find somebody.
It's always moving on to the next thing day to day. There's no succession. There's no BCP. There's no OPT planning. There's nothing.
I bet you in a large organization, in a bank, absolutely. In a big company, we've got to groom some people for this or that. In
Can
the
I
little
tell you
group that I'm
something,
in-
Norm? And I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
In my time working in cyber crimes and cybersecurity, I've seen criminal organizations who put more thought into recovery planning, succession planning,
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's an amazing quote.
and disaster recovery. They have put more thought into it. If somebody gets caught, if we get breached, if operations don't go according to plan, what do we do next? Who takes up the mantle? What happens after?
That's amazing,
if
isn't it?
Atlanta people.
They're good managers, those guys. They're just doing it the wrong
I've seen criminal organizations with better planning. I'm not
gross.
even joking. I'm being serious.
Let me tell you what I was going to tell you a few minutes ago. When you mentioned the person that you hired who had done the project management course, I remember when I was in business school. Now, this was a long time ago. I won't tell you how long. But it actually, at this point, wasn't 1980 quite. And we were between first and second year of business school. And one of the profs came in and said, we were talking about the courses we were going to take in second year. And one of the courses was called Managing Change, and it was up on the board. And he came up and he said, hey, I want to tell you something. And he pointed to the words Managing Change. When you get out there, this is what it's all about. Managing change. Now, of course, managing change in 1980 was a heck of a lot simpler than it is today. But I think you made the right choice for the right reason. And that's smart. Good for you.
Thank you. Well, you know what?
I have a job I'd like to offer you. We'll talk offline.
We'll talk offline? Okay. We'll take a quick break so we can refresh our beverages, and we'll be right back.
Okay. We are back. Do you remember the song? Welcome back.
No, I just know the one. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. The one that I use for the
Welcome back.
For our starter. You know,
Well, it's the late 70s, so that's sort of when I started listening to
exactly.
music.
Look who you're talking to.
Well,
I was born mid-90s, but I
it's
digress.
a timeless song anyway.
So, on Monday, we saw that there was 3 million. What does that number mean to you? 3 million.
I'm trying to think of Monday. My Monday seems so long ago right now.
That's kind of true. That is true.
3 million.
We kind of feel
Give me a hint, give me a
inundated
hint.
with this cycle, right? Like there's always things coming at you like in full force, flooding the zone. 3 million files were dropped in the Epstein files by the DOJ.
Yes, of course, yes.
Pam Bondi.
Of course.
According to the U.S.
The issue-
State Department of Justice, is
The
that
issue
they've-
that keeps on giving.
I know, right? They are done looking into the Epstein file, and this is the last drop that they will do. However, the Democrats are saying that this is far from over. There are over 6 million documents in the file, and they only gave them 3 million. Half of it, which that they dropped, was unredacted properly. So putting people's identities at risk.
Well, they hid the people who were the bad guys, and they allowed some of the victims' names to get out. That's how I understand it.
Including address, social insurance,
Ridiculous.
number,
Ridiculous.
and phone numbers. So, it is quite ridiculous. And, I think this was done on purpose. I don't think this was a mistake. And I think it's done on purpose that only certain emails that wouldn't criminalize people but be very scandalous were put down, were released by the Department of Justice. I think that the names that were called, whether that's Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, Elon Musk.
Mendelssohn in the UK, although that was earlier known.
That was earlier known. Of
And,
course, that was earlier known. It's, as my UK people would say, it's not even a matter of public trust. It's just poor judgment.
Yeah.
It's poor judgment.
And lack of vetting.
And lack of vetting.
Or
is it I don't even say it's lack of vetting because it was known.
Well,
it was known.
Was
and
it known,
he had
was
been
it
thrown
not?
out of government twice.
Then lack of vetting.
Bad
job.
So it's just really poor judgment.
I don't think Starmer should resign because of that. I think he should let's just move on and find somebody else to do the job. That's my only opinion.
Well, I think he may be ousted before the end of the month, but we'll see. That's one to keep our eyes on.
I can tell you I don't have an opinion on British politics very often, but on this one I do.
Oh, interesting.
Tell your friends in the UK.
I'm pretty sure they're listening.
I'm sure.
So your friend Bill Gates is being called out. How do you feel?
He's not a friend. I don't have...
On this Vero podcast, everything. Bill Gates wants to give to the poor.
Well,
Bill Gates is a philanthropist.
Hey, listen.
Bill Gates wants to pay his fair share of taxes.
That's good. That's all good. Billionaires should be paying taxes. You would agree with that.
I literally thought about clipping together all the times you've shouted out Bill Gates on this podcast.
I know you were willing to set me up today. I know you've got several questions you're going to pose, you son of a bitch.
I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to
But let's face it. I think, and I said this to you and you asked me to make sure I say it on air, the whole Epstein thing, I'm kind of bored of it. It's a distraction from what's really going on in the United States. No, it's not. There were real people hurt. There were people who did inappropriate things, some of which may have been criminal, certainly. But you know what? What's going on in the U.S. right now and is much worse with what Trump is stripping away democracy from the country.
I'm sorry, but I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. What we will not be is distracted. What we will not do is lose the plot. We, the North, remember, and we will not be distracted.
Well, this isn't the North's issue. This is the Americans' issue.
Oh, no.
We're watching it.
This is a global issue. Epstein isn't an American thing. Epstein was in cahoots with the global elites. It's not an American issue.
True.
It's an everywhere issue.
And
there are people, elites from Canada, elites in the UK,
other
elites
countries.
The Australian Prime Minister is in it. His daughter, according to the Epstein files, was involved in human sacrificing.
That's ridiculous. That's bad. I didn't hear that.
There have been talks about racism. Epstein didn't even want black people on the island. There have been talks about with
well, I wouldn't have been interested then.
With Stevie B saying how they were talking like buddies, talking about putting out drops for anarchy, doing a social tribalism. So it makes you believe that all of this was premeditated. This was the blueprint for Project 25. Didn't just come out of nowhere. There's even
it didn't come out of Epstein. Okay,
it didn't come out of Epstein, it makes no. It didn't come out of Epstein, but it makes looking at the Epstein files does link a lot of things together. A lot of things that came out from even back in the day, looking at the Wayfair scandal, Pizzagate, a lot of things from the Epstein file started putting links together. It started putting pieces of things.
People links, eh?
It's starting to link people to theories.
May I ask you a question? What is your source of information for what you know about the Epstein files?
Well,
I presume you haven't read 200,000 pages.
No, I haven't read 200,000 pages, but what I have done is do a Control F.
A Control F?
Control Find.
And you're looking for what name?
I look for key statements.
Okay.
And I downloaded the full files and I throw it into my LLM and I ask it to summarize certain articles and certain pages for me. Yes.
Wow. Now that is showing quite an interest in the file. I haven't done that.
Well, I did the same thing.
I'm not sure I have the room on my hard drive to download it.
I did the same thing with the Mueller report. Like, I'm not going to sit down and read 90 pages, but,
Well, that's, at least at Mueller, you could get a summary that's, a couple pages long. The Epstein thing, that's
And the real
huge.
Mueller report was, the complete Mueller report was like 300 pages, you know? So I'm not going to sit down and read all that, read a whole Harry Potter novel. Speaking of, somebody I saw a meme where somebody said, I'm just going to leave this here. The name of Trump came up more times in the in the Epstein files than the word Harry Potter came up in all 7 Harry Potter books. So
that is a great one. I like that.
I actually went and Control F Donald J. Trump. And I kid you not, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. It is true. It is actually true. Donald Trump's name came up more times in the Epstein files.
So what problem do you think that creates for him?
I think it does not create a problem at all.
Okay.
I think he is the leader of the free world, allegedly, as for however long it's free, and
democratic.
And he controls the narrative. He who controls the media controls the narrative. And let's face it, from Washington Post. That has been bought to run down to the ground, to CBS that's been bought to run down to the ground, to Fox, the Paramount Media. It's all practically state-run media. So he who controls the media,
we're going to lose Stephen Colbert in 4 months,
and that's why we have lost the plot. That's why you're bored.
We gotta get it back. The Americans have got to get it back.
That's why you're bored.
This
because
isn't my fault.
The zone is so flooded that you're like, I'm so inundated with information that I feel worn down by attrition.
But what the American citizen needs to remind themselves, we are democracy. We're not going to be overrun by Trump and his people that want to crowd everything out and do everything for themselves and make themselves richer and control voting and tell us more lies. I am really concerned at what's going on south of the border.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. How about up north?
I've said this before.
What about up north? We haven't talked much about Canada.
The U.S., the worst of the world, especially Canada and Mexico, we've had a certain agreement, forms of agreement. And I'm not just talking about the written ones, like our trade agreement, like NAFTA. I'm talking about like actual unspoken agreements for years.
Because we live close to each other, right?
That a certain level of civility,
correct,
and the rest of the world, written and unwritten, through whether it's through NATO or USAID or whatever the case may be, that as long as the U.S. remains the good guy and our world police, democracy in the world will be held strong.
These are institutions that we have come to live with and accept, is what you're saying. Okay.
And now I think the current U.S. government no longer looks...
Currently Trump is trying to screw that all
No,
up.
because everybody's enabling him. So it's not just Trump. I'm sorry. No. And you need to stop that. He's been enabled. He can't do it by himself, Norm.
No one's opposing him. They do what he wants to do.
Exactly. So stop saying just Trump.
Well,
I hate when people say that.
He could stop
he
it.
wasn't voted in by over 40 million people, and as if he doesn't have a whole house and the Supreme Court.
We have the whole house except the West Wing.
Backing the East Wing. You mean that he broke?
Was it? Yes, correct. The
East Wing.
The West Wing. If they destroyed that, then he'd be gone too, right?
But
Javi, get your directions straight.
But you need to work
I
on the
screwed up
setup.
the directions. I was looking south instead
work
of
on
north.
the delivery.
Okay.
But but I think
it's the wine sweetie.
Not you blaming it on the alcohol. All right, T-Pain.
It's my one time I drink in the week. Come on. I've cut my drinking out except here.
Except here?
Well, sometimes I don't even drink here sometimes.
Can I tell you something?
What?
And I'll just a quick sidebar and I will go back. I have not drank since my party on Sunday.
That's good. That's great.
Saturday. I mean, technically Sunday because it went till 3 a.m. Sunday.
Are we both doing the same kind of reducing our alcohol consumption?
I'm trying to reduce, but not because I have a punch. I'm trying to reduce because You're
looking at mine, bitch.
I'm trying to reduce to see if there's any changes that will happen
Absolutely. In your health?
in my health at all.
And have you noticed anything?
I'm sick and tired of my doctor saying, you need to cut back on your drink, you need to cut your drink, you need to cut your drink. And so I'm like, okay, fine. Let me try and see what will happen. Is there going to be any change?
And have you noticed anything? Because I'm not sure I have.
I've stopped having vivid dreams.
Oh.
And I don't know if I like that.
Okay. You noticed anything with your body, like when you're awake?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, same here.
I feel tired as hell. I still feel, in fact, I feel more tired than I did when I was drinking. But that could be detoxing. I don't know. I did ask, let Chat GPT, and it did say that detoxing, when you're detoxing for the first week to week and a half, the first 4 to 14 days, expect fatigue because your body's detoxing. And this is after that you should find a spike in your energy. So, but I don't know if
interesting.
I don't know if I'll see it because Super Bowl Sunday is coming up and I have another party coming up.
Oh,
so I'm just like, the drinking shall commence again.
Do you know the rules of football? I know you like parties and stuff.
No, but who's there? I'm here for the pre-show with Green Day, and I'm here for the halftime show with Bad Bunny.
The Rams are going to win that game. I don't think there's too much.
The Patriots? You don't think the Patriots is going to win?
It will. No, I think the Rams will beat the Patriots.
I think the Patriots are going to win because Taylor Swift will come in to save the day.
No.
That's all I know about football. Yay, sports!
Anyway, where were we now before we got onto this very useful topic of alcohol and drinking and the health benefits of stopping?
So we were, before we sidetracked, we were talking about the stage of the union and
the United States
the dependency.
Yes. Canada's still a union, even though they're trying to steal Alberta. Just saying. Go ahead.
Well, I call the U.S. the Union. I call us the Confederacy, but I digress.
Confederation, not Confederacy.
Confederation. What's the difference between a Confederacy and a Confederation?
The Confederacy were the Southern whites that tried to in the Civil War in the United States.
Okay.
They were the ones that had the slaves.
Okay.
Y'all don't want to vote for the Confederacy, honey.
Oh, okay.
You voted Union. They were the Northern people. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So for the Confederation.
Yes, Confederation.
Okay,
yeah, we're a Confederation.
You see, you learn English new things every day.
Well, you see, that's the advantage of daddies. They know those kind of things.
Okay.
Sorry, I just want to get another glass of wine. Carry on.
Can't with you. So anyhow, I don't necessarily think that the current administration is looking at things from a perspective of world police anymore. I think they're looking at a reverse in powers. So instead of showing strength, instead of showing strength through soft power, they're choosing to lower their soft power in the world and show strength through hard power, much like a China or a North Korea or even a Russia does. So I think Trump is more focused on regional power.
I think Trump is focused on one thing.
At the Greenland?
Trump. He's focused on Trump. Mr. T.
Well,
anything that serves Mr. T will get a green light.
Well, Trevor Noah made a really good joke at the Grammys that I thought was a good read.
Whose joke was it?
Trevor Noah. He was the host. He said, Trump, he said, a lot of people really wanted that award, talking about Album of the Year, just as much as Trump wants Greenland. I guess because Epstein Island has been commandeered by the U.S. government. He needs a new island to hang out with his buddies. So it's just
a new island, yeah.
So that made me holler.
Yeah.
But then on Monday, Trump put out, to say while the files were being dropped, he put amongst his many rants, he put out a whole tweet saying, prepare, this low budget comedian will be soon cancelled, just like Jimmy Kimmel. Ask George Snuffadopoulos and CBS, all these people who have sued. I will sue you too, so be prepared. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
That is the sound
Donald
of an autocrat.
J. Trump.
The sound of an autocrat.
So
right?
I'm just like I said, you can't be upset at comedians. Leave comedians alone. We need to make comedy great again.
Well, you got to watch Stephen Colbert once in a while.
You know what? I have beef with Stephen Colbert. I do.
You what? You've been? You like
beef. I have beef with him.
Oh, what's your beef?
I have beef with him.
Well, why?
Because he's pro-Israel, and there's nothing wrong with being pro-Israel as long as you're being fair.
I haven't noticed much about that, but I know he's definitely anti-Trump.
He's very pro-Israel, and I don't mind you being pro-Israel, but what I have an issue with is nationalism. I think at the end of the last World War, we all came together and decided a set of democratic rules as a Western community that nationalism, populism,
NATO, and all those other good things,
and fascism would never see the light of day again. And it's not even been a fucking century, and we're seeing it repeat itself. And this is why Black History Month, shout out to you, this is why history is so important, because if we ignore history, past becomes prologue.
Past becomes present.
I can't.
And you know what? This is going to be a fascinating year in the United States. I can tell you, I am really looking forward to election night in November. More than the World Series, more than Stanley Cup, more than FIFA here in Toronto. I'm looking forward to November, whatever Tuesday it is in early November.
Well, I'm curious to see how FIFA is going to turn out because...
Hey, it's going to be great. You know what? I had a meeting today.
You think so? I think Mexico and I think Canada will get the bulk of the visitors. I don't think the U.S. may.
That could be.
I
was in a meeting today with senior transportation officials from the city of Toronto, and they are getting ready for FIFA. And I like what they're saying. They're harmonizing. They're coordinating. I think we've learned a lot from COVID. We've learned a lot from the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be fun here. It's going to be a little disruption, but you know what? We're going to be ready for it, and we are going to be the focus of the world for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. Me and us and about 5 other cities.
I'm not ready. I'm hoping to move out of Toronto before it comes to
don't please. You have you live in a great part of town right near St. Lawrence Market.
It's too central. It's too central.
You don't like living downtown anymore?
It's too central, too busy. It's too busy.
Well, where you are, yes. I mean, just for people to know, he's like, you can walk to the nearest freeway from here.
I think...
there's a lot of traffic around here.
My description to people is always, if you're in England, I always say it's like living 5 minutes walk away from Waterloo Station.
Mm-hmm.
And if you live...
Paddington, darling. That's the one I know a little better.
Paddington is...
It's a little north. Yeah, it's a little out of the down... Yes, it's a little out of the congested area. But
it's... Yeah. I mean, yes, it connects to Heathrow, but it's still... To connect to everything, I think the heart and center of London, it's either Waterloo or King's Cross.
King's Cross for sure.
Now, if you live in the United States, I always use Grand Central as my point of reference.
Of course.
So if
do I sound like a New Yorker? Of course, that's where you want to go, right?
I would say it would be like living 5 minutes walk to Grand Central Station. That's what Union is to here.
Yeah,
I'm like 5 minutes walk to Union.
Yeah, and you're someone that likes a car. If you like to walk a lot, you wouldn't have any problem living down here. But you use a car more than. You know, I use my fingernail clipper.
That's probably true. Granted, I work from home. That's probably true.
But every time I call you or text you, sorry, I'm in the car. I can't talk to you right now. Oh, really? What the hell are you doing? Where are you driving now? Like, but you know what?
I'm a social person.
This is a good place to live because you go different places. And this is central for you.
I need to live on the outskirts of the city.
But then you're going to be traveling from one outskirt to another outskirt. I have a friend that goes from
And it probably would still take me less time
Milton.
to get there.
Well, his boyfriend's in Milton. He lives in almost borderline
because
Scarborough.
Anyone knows from getting anywhere from inside downtown Toronto to the next set of inside downtown Toronto is a road trip.
Yeah.
It takes me an hour from my place to get to Cole's place. And it takes me a similar time to get from here to Oshawa. That makes no sense.
Interesting.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised it takes you an hour to get to Cole's place, because the one time I drove with you there, I almost had a heart attack in the front seat.
Yes, we know. I drive fast.
We've known each other a long time, folks. I mean, I've known this guy now. It's what, 12, 13 years?
12 years,
yeah.
A very long time. Yeah. A very long time. Well, speaking of, things in the United States, the Super Bowl is coming up this Sunday.
Yep.
And you said you predict the Rams are going to win. I predict
win.
the Patriots are going to win.
Okay.
Go team, go Taylor Swift, go sports. I guess, are we putting bets in?
I don't bet.
You don't bet?
No.
No? Liar. You're a dirty liar.
I don't bet.
Yes, you do.
It's a waste of money.
You bet on the stock market.
Well, my broker does it for me.
That's the biggest betting platform in the world.
And that's the only place I will bet where I will win. And honey, I've been winning. Trust me.
All right. That's a conversation for another time, because actually I do have a podcast that I want to do on the birth of the stock market, where it is now, and where the stock market will be because of the volatility of the tariff wars and the U.S. Soft power and the stock market possibly moving.
It will survive it. Trust me.
I don't know. I don't think so. Remember, the stock market used to be in Britain.
Well, it's been, listen.
And then after World War II, it moved to the United States. So it wasn't that long ago.
New York and Toronto are the financial capitals of North America.
So let's not pretend.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board.
So I don't know. And if I'm being honest, my predictions have never been too far off. And
well, are you better at predicting elections than football games? Well, you're pretty good with elections. You bet for Trump last year.
I'm really good with elections, and I think I'll be good with football games. Let's see what happens next week Friday.
Let me just say that betting on Trump,
ladies and gentlemen,
betting on Trump last year was a lot easier than who might win this year. But we'll see.
You heard it first here on Daddy on Son.
And
the Patriots will win.
Okay.
Go Sports!
All right. Well, the first thing we say when we come back next week, or a week after, I won't be here next week, is who won.
Who won?
No.
Okay.
Right.
So you will hear it first. You hear it here first. The Patriots will win. Go Taylor Swift. Woo!
Kansas City's not one of the players. one of the teams.
Isn't she getting married to the quarterback?
That's Kansas City Chiefs. They are not in the playoffs.
I thought he was in Patriots.
No.
Oh, see? I don't know shit.
Yeah. No. Stick to Grammys. I'll do the football, okay?
Oh, my God. Shows what I know. Well, like I said, I'm just here for the halftime show, the Perrero, and on the drinks and the snacks. I'm looking forward to the nachos.
Fast forward during the free time show.
Not the free time show.
Pre-time show, whatever it is.
the free time show. Yes, the free time show, which is the rest of the show, which is where I'll be playing poker with the girls, and putting in minimum bets of $5. You know I have a poker kit, right?
No.
Yeah, I have a Texas Hold'em kit, so I'll be bringing it with the mat and everything. So
you play poker?
Minimum bet $10. I play Texas Hold'em.
Texas
Hold'em.
What the hell is that?
This ain't Texas. We can't hold them.
I'm not into stuff like you are. You're more into the avant-garde thing.
It's a deviation of poker. It's an offshoot of poker.
Well, I know how you play poker and euchre. I don't know this other stuff.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking towards a poker.
We should play
Buffalo Wings.
You should have a card game. We'll come for a play. Do you guys know how to play euchre?
I've never heard of euchre. That sounds like something you just made up.
No, I didn't.
I don't know what euchre is, but it sounds rather delicious.
It's a good game. Listen, for anybody euchre is a great game. It's easy to lose.
It's easy to lose.
Easy to learn.
I bet.
It's easy to learn. I think it's time to wrap up, man. Son, let's wrap it up.
Before I wrap it up, one last thing that I want to, get your opinion on. My bestie sent me something today. Israel on Campus Coalition. They are doing a Super Bowl ad. And in this ad, it depicts an upcoming Super Bowl ad that a Jewish kid has a school he's in school walking down the hallway with his backpack, and someone sticks the slur "dirty Jew" on the back of his backpack. Or rucksack if you live in the UK. If you know, you know. I'm talking to you. The person knows who I'm talking about. Because we had a debate about rucksack versus knapsack the other day. But I digress. So this happened to this Jewish kid in the advertisement, and I had 2 points. In the advertisement, a black kid came to his defense saying, don't worry about these kids. I've been there before. Ignore them. And, the Jewish was going to fight, and he said, don't fight. It's not worth it. I say and then the advertisement ends by saying, stand up to hate. Then the word Jewish pops up at the end and it says, stand up to Jewish hate. Now, my thing is, they should have just said stand up to hate and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're good, especially in our good Black History Month, they're going to bring us into it. Because where's the Jewish coalition when Black people are being assaulted on campus? Where's the Jewish coalition when the Jewish coalition, Jewish campus coalition, when Black people were being hung from campuses after the shooting of Charlie Kirk, where Black people have nothing to do with it, had absolutely nothing to do with it, nothing. And as long as there is a white person being hurt, there's always going to be a Black person coming in saying, Massa, do you need help, Massa? Do you need help? Like, fine, sure, we all know that there are coons out there, but I think the better message would have been if this is something to hate. And now
this is an ad that'll only be seen in the United States, though.
For the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
and you've seen the ad already?
Because it's already online.
Okay.
So that's part one.
I should look for it.
And I said there's 2 parts. The second part for me is I'm surprised that the NFL has allowed this, because technically, in the past, anything political is not allowed in the NFL. I mean, literally,
it's kind of borderline,
Kaepernick
isn't it?
would kneel.
It's kind of borderline, isn't it?
And he would get fined or even lose his job for kneeling during the national anthem because of, George Floyd, as an example. So for me, I'm surprised that this was greenlit. And I think it speaks to a racial double standard.
Do you like the ad itself, though?
But
do you think it has a good message?
That is a good question. Do I like the ad? Do I think it sends a good message? Yes.
Yeah, I do too. It sounds like it. I mean, I haven't seen it.
I do like the ad. I do think it sends a good message.
And I think that's why the NFL is allowing it, because it's positive and it's community. And it isn't overtly political. It is kind of social.
But we've seen football players get fined for literally changing the color of the painting on their face.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to stand up to breast. They wanted to create a message for breast cancer.
Yeah, it's kind of a double standard, it sounds like.
So it is a double standard, and that is where the problem lies for me.
Well, I think you should do something during the Super Bowl and object to that.
Yeah, I'll be eating my nachos very loudly when it comes on in protest. No, it's like I said, the ad, I have no problem with the ad. My issues are, and everybody who knows me knows that I'm a fair person. Whether you're libertarian or you are conservative, I will always call out the bullshit when I see it. I'll always call it out when I see it, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. And I think that it's a great ad, great messaging.
I'm going to look for it when I get home.
Wrong timing, wrong platform. The NFL is wrong for allowing this, but finding and not allowing other things, especially in these political times. And I definitely do think the Israel on Campus coalition.
It hasn't been shown yet, so there's still 48 hours before they could change their mind.
Pull it. That's true. Yeah. And I still think the Israel on Campus coalition the messaging would have been better, especially if they're going to bring us into it in our good Black History Month. The messaging would have been better if they left stand up to Jewish hate and just left it to stand up to hate. I definitely think that would have sent a stronger message of unity and a call to action from everybody, rather than if they had just left it to stand up to Jewish hate.
You can appreciate why there were a lot of voices there saying we need to add in the Jewish hate part. I understand that.
But still, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. With that being said, is there any final words that you'd like to give to the people?
You've had the last word, my dear son.
But I haven't even given my last word yet.
Oh, you have. You've had many of them, actually.
Well, it's
been great
because I'm producing this week. So yes, I've had many words to say.
You have,
and
you have a lot of opinions on a lot of things.
And you've had a very few to say.
Well, I don't have as many opinions. I don't have as many opinions on things that you have.
So you're telling me that as the older I get, I'll become vapid?
I'm not vapid.
Airheaded, waspy.
I just kind of don't have an opinion on a lot of things. I don't know a lot of things. I didn't know about that ad. I would have responded to it and probably thought, yeah, I like that. And then, okay, let's go back to the third quarter, okay?
It is puzzling
yes,
to see a man as worldly as you hide behind the shroud of ignorance.
Ignorance is often just not knowing about something that's out there.
And it's also often a bliss. But
I know a lot of things we haven't talked about.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, North Korea, autocracy, voting.
Let's talk about. I don't know
Alberta,
if you know a lot about me,
the economy.
But let's talk about it.
The people in Toronto. I've talked to 3 people this week in Toronto. They're hungry.
Well,
I can't believe it. There are hungry people in Toronto.
There are hungry people everywhere.
Well, there's certainly hungry people in Africa and Asia.
It'll always be everywhere. Hungry people and gays. And that's my final word.
No, Catholics and gays. That used to be the old sign. But anyway.
And that's my final word. Thank you. So, actually, my final word is do something kind this week.
Super. I
do
totally
something kind. In honor of Black History Month, do something kind. And especially if you are a white person, do something kind for the Negro in your life. And if you're a Black person, do something kind for your neighbor.
Touché.
That's the message I want to leave with our listeners today. And thank you for listening. If you made it all the way to the end, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Daddy and Son Podcast. Remember, we are now available over iHeartRadio, so go download the free iHeartRadio app, child, and support the show. And so that we know that you did make it to the end, put a wine glass emoji in the comment section so we know that you made it to the end.
Yes, excellent idea.
Put a wine glass emoji there. That's what you do.
With red wine in it.
With red wine in it. That is request. Now, if you have any questions for the show, send them over to daddyandsonpodcast@gmail.com. That is DADDYANDSON podcast@gmail.com. Until next time, sons, be good to your daddies.
And daddies, as you suggested, be kind to your son.